All right, so today we're going to focus on a technique called value and shading. So this is one of those techniques that is definitely going to be difficult in the beginning, but I promise it'll get easier the more we practice. So basically all you're going to need today is a pencil, and if your back of your eraser doesn't have a pencil, you need an eraser for your pencil. So I have a separate one, but you can use the one on the back of your pencil, whatever you decide. So what we're going to start off with is on our paper, you're going to see I have 3 boxes here. It says darkest, medium, and lightest. And our challenge is that we want to color in these 3 boxes with our pencil, but we want them to look different. So that means we want this box to be the darkest, this box to be medium, and this box to be the lightest. I'm going to tell you right now, this box right here is going to be the easiest one. So let's start with this one right here. Now I'm going to turn my paper just slightly sideways because for me, when I draw and I color and shade in, it makes my life easier if I tilt my paper, but you do whatever is easiest for you. Now, when I'm coloring in this section, I'm going to push down nice and hard. I'm going to take my time. I'm not going to stress out too much. Oh, something you'll notice is the texture from my table is popping through. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab a notebook to put underneath. There we go. So that way the texture won't pop through. So I'm going to go through. I am going to go and color in as dark as I can. Your goal is to try to stay inside the box. But you know what? If we go out a little bit, mistakes happen. Like if I go out like that, no big deal. Mistakes happen. But your goal is to try and stay inside the box if possible. We're going to push down nice and hard. Trying to stay in the box. But if I make mistakes, it's all good. Just like that. Now, if I did make a mistake, which that's okay, we want to go back now and erase that. All right. So now you can either use your pencil eraser or your real eraser. We're going to go and clean up those edges. There we go. All right. Now is when we get a little tricky. That was easy. Let's go a little more difficult. We're going to try to color in this box, but I want you to push down a little bit lighter this time. So you can see I am pushing down a little bit lighter. Notice how I'm going side to side. I'm trying not to go scribbly. We're trying our best to go side to side. So that way we have a nice, smooth area of pencil. And just like last time, if we go out, no big deal because we have erasers. All right, so I'm going to go back and clean that up. There we go. Now notice this section's nice and dark. This one's a medium color. Now here's the really, really tricky one. We want to go nice and light. This one's going to be a little more difficult because it's almost like you're barely touching that paper. I'm almost like a ballerina on her tippy toes. I'm going very, very, very lightly in this box. This is difficult even for me. Sometimes I have trouble making something light enough. There we go. Look at that. That's a little bit lighter, but honestly, those are really close. If I make a mistake, do you know what we can do? Maybe I'll just start that one over because sometimes even teachers make mistakes. I'm going to go try even lighter this time. Let's see. There we go. That one's looking a lot lighter. Much better. Maybe I'll go back now and make this a little bit darker. Maybe I'll go over here and make this even darker. Your goal for this piece of paper is you want to have 3 sections that have 3 very different pencils. Once you feel like you've mastered this, you've done the best you possibly can. And remember, my best is going to be different than your best. You're going to try and do whatever you can in this section, darkest, medium, and lightest. Here's where I'm going to challenge you even further. I have created this crazy shape for you, and I would like you to have the darkest, medium, and lightest color in here all at the same time. All right, so if you're up for the challenge, let's do it. I'm going to make my darkest area over here, I'm thinking. I'm just going to follow the same transition. I'm trying to keep my pencil going in the same direction. Nice and dark. You'll notice that when I color, I try to just stay away from the line at first. And then once I color it in, I can go back and get the smallest sections. Now remember, if you go outside the line by mistake, we can erase it. No biggie. All right, now that I did my darkest section, I'm going to start transitioning into my lighter section. So what that means is I'm not drawing a line or anything like that, but I am going to start putting a little bit less pressure on my pencil. There we go. All right, that looks like a pretty good transition. There's a little bit of a line right there, so maybe I'll just try a little bit more. There we go. Now I'm going to transition to my really light section. Barely touching the paper. I'm not worried too much if I go outside the lines because I can always fix those mistakes. All right, pretty good. If you see anywhere you need to touch up, you can always touch up afterwards. Like I'm going to color in some darker area there. Now I'm going to get my eraser, lean that up, and voila, we have our done paper. Notice how it's not perfect, but it's pretty darn good. All I'm asking for you is for you to try your best to get 3 layers of pencil, darkest, medium, and lightest. I'm excited to see what you can do. When you're done, you can turn this into Google Classroom.